Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Live.
We're live.
We're live. Got it.
How to blow it. Welcome back to you. Now it's you. Unbelievable.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the live stream. Sean Pastoch.
Larry Geyer.
Larry Geyer. Remember, if you like the live streams, if you like awesome content, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Throw a like on the video. Drop a comment. We'll be looking at the Q&A the entire time. If you have a question, a comment, something you'd like to ask, something you'd like to add, drop it right on there. I'm pointing at my computer. This is what I was pointing at. You'll have your own. Ask your question. So today, we're going to be joined by my good friend Adee Cazayoux, the founder of Working Against Gravity. And I want to ask her about something that she taught me 4 years ago now, 3 or 4 years ago, called the success funnel, and how she's, I'm just gonna let her describe it. But if you're a coach or an athlete or a gym owner or a human who wants to get better at something and be able to measure the improvement, the way Adee describes this funnel was very revelatory for me. It helped me to evolve my career as a professional. Speaking of professionalism, that's what I want to talk about with you today before Adee comes on. I want to talk about the value of continuing to increase your level of professionalism and what the purpose of it is, and then talk to you about some of the things that I never faced resistance myself in, but that when I've asked other people to do these things, they have faced them. So I don't relate very well. I think you will, and I'm curious to your take on them. What's
the purpose of professionalism?
The purpose of professionalism, as far as I'm concerned, is to continuously add to the reason why people are able to easily trust you. Now, you don't want the lawyer who's wearing a Hawaiian shirt to represent you in the important court case. You don't want the doctor to rush into the room after doing something else with blood still on her from the patient that she just saw to see you. You don't want the coach who's still wearing knee sleeves around their ankles, smells like the workout that they just did, to now out of breath explain the workout to you. So adding professionalism, I believe, adds to the likelihood somebody trusts you.
So in a nutshell, the purpose of adding professionalism is to make sure that it's easy for you to intentionally earn the trust of the people that you want to lead.
Yeah, to make it easier for them to be led.
What are some of the things that you think people find resistance in when they want to start becoming more and more?
So that's what I wanted to ask you about, because I come from, my first two experiences in fitness were privately owned big box gym. There was terribly run to Equinox. So I had experience A and experience B. And some of the things that I noticed in experience B at Equinox that made it more valuable to the user than experience A, World Gym, were the things about it that were corporate. You will wear a uniform. Your shirt will be tucked in. You will check in for your shift 15 minutes ahead of your shift. You will wear a lanyard that says your name, your credentials on it. You will have a clipboard when you're training a client. Your schedule will be inside of your clipboard. The way that you will interview somebody will be like this. Ask them these questions. To the point that I asked a guy if there was any chance he was pregnant, because I just wanted to follow the rules perfectly. He wasn't. He wasn't pregnant. The reason why I'm bringing that up is I think that a big part of the reason why they're so successful is because of the consistency that comes with the professionalism that they force.
Yeah, all those indicators sound great. All those signs are.
But so when I was in clinic, I was trying to bring the clinic to be something that was much more along those lines. Like, we will wear a clinic uniform. We will present in a room in a certain way. There will be a cadence of events with a patient in the room. Jeremy didn't like that. He liked wearing sweaters from Zara and his pants. That's fine. I wore pants too, just different ones, right? They were different. They were the same color every day for what I wanted. Stuff like that. I've had the resistance there. I've talked to gym owners about getting uniforms on their coaches.
So wait, so I just want to make sure I understand the last part, and then everyone else does. The difference there, disparity, was between you wanted a consistent uniform for it, and your partner decided, I think that I should wear whatever feels comfortable and casual. And
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, like, that's a microcosm, because I see it in gyms too. Like, why aren't your coaches in uniform? They like to wear their rogue stuff. They went to this competition. They like to wear that. What's the difference?
So this is I wanted them to feel like they could just be themselves.
Yes. And exactly.
And you believe that there's a sweet spot between being yourself and...
No, it's not about being any less of yourself. It's about how do you express yourself as an extension of this brand? Instead of how do you express yourself outside of this brand while earning an income within it. You understand the difference?
Let's find out. So while you're working in the thing, in the brand, with the brand, for the brand, it's their parameters for how you express yourself.
Yeah.
Outside, do whatever you want. Well, not whatever you want.
Right, you gotta remember that
it happens outside work too.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. Recently we were in a gym together and we talked about we walked in, where's the coach? Oh, the coach is over there eating a sandwich on her phone
hat
on a bench while members were getting ready for class. And the response was, well, if you guys weren't in the office right now, she'd be in the office. Okay. There's a level of that is understandable. Maybe she's allowed to wear a hat, the crop top of the brand that she likes, and the shorts that she was wearing. Maybe it's reasonable to ask her not to eat on the floor and be on her phone while people are training. Where does the reasonable ask end? And at what point does that reasonable ask ending become detrimental to that person's own earning potential?
So it sounds like it's some combination of the line at which the person feels like they're stifled at work and what the employer decides is a line of professionalism that can't be crossed, or a line of unprofessional behavior that can't be crossed.
Yeah, when you're in the military, you wear a uniform. When you're a firefighter, you wear a uniform. When you're a police officer, you wear a uniform. You chose to do that job, so you need to exemplify that job. Why is it different in coaching where it's like, no, you should be able to wear a, meathead throwdown competition that happened on the beach last year, t-shirt, short shorts that half your butt's hanging out of the bottom of, the knee sleeves that you worked out in 2 hours ago around your ankles. Like, why is that appropriate?
I get it.
So at what point do you think it becomes too much? And I want to keep it really simple. I think every coach in every gym should wear a uniform. And part of that uniform should be the way that their facial hair is maintained. Have it, but maintain it. The kind of footwear that they wear, the color of shorts or pants that they wear, the exact shirt that they wear and how they wear it, the name tag or the lanyard that they're wearing to represent who they are, what their responsibilities in the place are. I get pushback, and I understand why, that eventually that becomes too corporate and everybody's joining this place and working at this place because it's not corporate. What I'm seeking to find is part of the reason why Target is a multi-billion-dollar company because they follow these rules?
I think that's probably a very small part of it.
So where do these rules become too much?
The other thing to remember is that people that work at Target probably make $14 an hour.
People that work in fitness businesses make $19 an hour.
No, I understand. I don't think that Target is a fair analogy for that reason because we want our coaches to be earning much more than that. What about them?
They make more than $19 an hour and they wear uniforms.
100%. I do believe that coaches should be wearing uniforms. I'm in full agreement around that. The minutia and the details and the parameters of what all of these rules are, I think is up to the owner to decide what's acceptable, and then just have a open conversation with coaches if there's any severe resistance around that. And if there's enough resistance, then I think that it might just not be a right fit for them to do that.
For the employee.
Yeah, for the employee. For example, look, I'm thinking about a couple of employees that I've seen, coaches that I've seen through our education who have tattoos everywhere, skin is present on their body, who have crazy colored, I'm with you, crazy colored hair in lots of different directions and a whole bunch of piercing and very brightly covered, cut off shirts, and that is their gym uniform. My question is, if they wanted to become a nurse or some other medical professional, and it was, well, these are your scrubs, this is the thing, they would probably accept that as part of their job, and there wouldn't be too much pushback around it. And it's part of the culture of many, many gyms today that they can wear whatever they want that you believe is deleterious to their earning potential and their reputation and their credibility.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Great. Can we find out what Adee thinks?
You got it. Coming on.
Hi, Adee.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing really good. It is Tuesday, 1 p.m. It's not raining right now, but it's going to be raining all week in Austin. So I'm glad about that.
You're glad about the rain?
I'm glad that it's not raining right now.
Does Austin get a lot of rain usually?
No, but it's been weeks of rain around here.
Really?
Got it.
Yeah.
So it's the
Weird.
year of like once every 100 years, this is going to happen in Austin. And they're all happening this year.
I don't know if you recently, the mayor of Austin was on the Joe Rogan podcast and I listened to it and he talked
good.
about how in his like 7 years, like all of the 100-year things happened in his mayorship or whatever you call it.
I guess in his
It's term.
yeah, what do you call it? In his term?
Term.
It was good though. He's like, yeah, every year there was a different every 100 years thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was an interesting podcast. But so I don't know how much you heard about what we were just talking about.
Yeah, I heard. Just give me I heard a little bit.
All right. So what we were talking about was how like the professionalism of coaches through uniform as one example. And how far do you take that to effectively create a unified front, I was going to say uniform again, I was trying to avoid it, but a uniform front as to what this business offers, how it presents, what it looks like, what it sounds like, before it becomes negatively affecting the coach's ability to express their own personality.
Yeah. Well, what I thought about when you guys were talking about it is one of my favorite restaurants here in Austin, and they all operate when they serve, like this level of service is so good. It's so good where we test them sometimes, where I leave a napkin on the table and somehow the napkin gets taken off the table, but I don't even notice how it happened. And they do it in such a way that it doesn't interfere with the way that you're eating the meal. And it's so professional and it's so good, but they obviously get training on that in some capacity, but they still have the ability to express themselves through their personality and the way that they interact with you. So I think that it's possible the edge that you're talking about of it's so professional that it's inhibiting people from being able to express themselves isn't necessarily like a too professional thing. It's like I'm telling you who to be as a leader type of thing, like a cultural issue.
So it's a difference
versus
between
be professional.
So it's a difference between how people are versus what they do.
What do you mean?
So
Yeah.
right. So first of all, do they all wear whatever they want, or are they all wearing uniforms? Let's just start there.
The waiters, they wear uniforms. So they wear like the same color shirt with the same apron around them, and they look like a team.
Okay.
What restaurant was this, by the way?
It's called Uchi in Austin.
Okay.
So this is cool, and this I think just speaks to exactly what you were describing,
Yeah.
Adee, that people can all dress and appear the same and demonstrate the same professional skill and comportment the same, but you can tell that they're all very different people being authentic to who they are at the same time.
Yeah. And coaches, you would give different types of cues, or you have coaches that are a little bit more, they joke around a little bit more, or maybe certain coaches are more soft and sensitive, or, the super cheerleader. I don't think you can, when you start trying to get that out of people, it's not making it necessarily more professional, I don't think. I think it's just controlling.
Right. So what you're speaking to is they can all look similar. Like you do your hair. I'm not asking you to cut your hair to be like my hair, but you're going to wear this shirt, you're going to wear these pants or these shorts and shoes that are this color. And that's how we do things here.
Yeah. And I feel like the people that are about your gym and they love your leadership and they want to be working for you would be excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. How many gyms have you been to, you think, across the country?
Oh, a lot.
And what percent of them do you think presented with uniform like that?
None.
Why?
Almost none.
Why? That's what I'm trying to get to the heart of. Why is this the case?
Yeah, maybe there's like a fear of what you're talking about, but I don't think it's necessarily a valid fear.
The fear of conformity.
I think that, yeah, a fear of, or maybe losing a bit of the casual appeal of CrossFit gyms. Like we're community, we hang out, we're kind of friends. Maybe they think it might lose a little bit of that appeal, which I don't think is true either. I think maybe the only one I've seen that's kind of like that is NC Fit. They have like their own gear.
They seem to be doing okay.
Yeah.
Is it any more complicated than this is another symptom of the very same reason why the average fitness professional makes $19
I think it
an
is.
hour? It's not. I don't think it's any more complicated than the fact that the standards for fitness professionalism and what is expected of them and what can be provided by them, it's not any more complicated than the fact that has been abysmally low for too long. And there's still too many people that don't know what they don't know around what's possible for them.
For sure.
If there was a gym that presented that way and part of the interview process was, hey, your starting pay is going to be $60K a year. These are the expectations of you. This is how you're going to blah, 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 blah. I think that it wouldn't be difficult for people to adopt a uniform.
I agree with you. My question to you, Adee, in regards to this is, I don't know if you remember back in, I think it was Seattle, the retreat we did in Seattle with Brute.
Okay.
You drew out the success funnel. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is in the very early phases of that funnel. You can look however you want. You can cue however you want. You can introduce the class however you want. Agree? Disagree?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you
I
describe,
think it is.
Can you describe briefly what the success funnel looks like?
Yes. I wish you had a whiteboard behind you so that I could get you to draw it. 'Cause it's a little bit.
I can do that.
No whiteboard. All right.
No whiteboard. Cleary turned us away from
He
it.
doesn't want us to use it.
That's okay. Okay. Well, so essentially the success funnel is like the Active Life logo turned on its side, where there's the narrow side of the triangle, and then it goes from the wide side to the narrow side. And at the beginning on the wide side is where you start any goal. You're heading towards a goal and you start on the wide side. And the goal that you're heading towards is the most narrow point of the triangle. And the widest section, like the whole triangle is the zone of optimal behavior is what I called it. Meaning if you are inside that triangle, you are heading towards your goal. But on the wider side, when you first start, the range of behaviors that can move you towards the point or the final goal is very wide. So the most potent example I've heard that's really helpful that anyone can probably understand is qualifying for the NBA. So I want to make it to the NBA. I want to become a professional basketball player. So when you start at the widest point of the triangle or the funnel is you're a kid and you're just playing with the basketball. They don't do anything but have to touch it, roll it, put it in their mouths, just be curious about it. And every time they see the ball, they're like excited about it. They pass it with you back and forth. And then maybe as they get closer to the goal of making it to the NBA, things start getting a little narrower. So they start actually joining an organized team. And on that team, the coaches probably don't care if the kid double dribbles. They don't care if they even shoot in the wrong net. They're just trying to cultivate fun and curiosity in these kids. They can actually hold the ball and run with it, and they're not going to make them wrong for it. And as you get even further along, your expectations get narrower and narrower. So now I'm in college and I'm playing college ball. You don't just have to move in the right direction at offense or defense. You have to work out. You have to get good grades. You have to understand your position. You have to study your opponent's games. You have to watch game footage and understand that. And at this point, in order to keep moving towards your goal, your options of how you can operate are just much lower. Whereas you could have just played with the ball and you were still making progress. But now you have to be doing all of these things in order to continue working towards making it to the NBA. And there's a couple interesting things that happen here. And this is with all goals, with losing weight, with becoming anything any goal that you have in the world is going to work this way. And it's why like the last 5 pounds are the hardest to lose, because it's the most narrow part of the funnel where it's like your options for behaviors are more narrow. You can't make as big of mistakes. You have to be more precise. And there's this thing called a choice point where, let's say I'm operating in a way that's outside of the zone of optimal behavior. I'm not working out in college ball, and I should be working out in order to keep improving my skills. You have a choice. You can either get back into the funnel and keep working towards B, or you don't actually want to work towards B anymore, and you can choose a different goal entirely. That's a choice point. What you cannot do is go backwards. So a lot of people that say, like qualifying for the CrossFit Games. Oh, I used to be able to just do the CrossFit class and do really well in the open. But now if I want to do better, I have to do these extra accessories, or I have to do all this extra stuff. It used to work for me if I just did the class, but you can't go backwards and keep making progress. You've lost everything behind you in the funnel. The kid playing college ball can't just play with the ball and make progress towards making the NBA. So things just get narrower and narrower. And it's a nice thing, actually, because when you first start, almost anything will make you progress. Just anything. And in the example that you're talking about, when you first open up a gym, people don't have as many expectations. You can make more mistakes. You can probably take bigger risks at the beginning, because in order to keep making progress to your goals, you have a wide range of what is going to continue heading towards actual success.
Wow.
I told you I like the D.
That was tricky.
Well, so one of the things that I've told you, and I've told anybody who would listen, that I admire most about you, Adee, is how mature, both like mentally from a skill set perspective and emotionally from an empathy perspective, you are about how you've run your businesses. And so whenever I'm thinking like, I wonder who I could ask about this, you're right at the top of the list every time.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Where did you learn how to do that?
Oh man, I think they're two different things. I think the skill set piece, I learned from my parents. My parents are immigrants in Canada, and they just like worked their butts off. And they taught me that everything I wanted, I could get, but I had to work for. So one example, like my dad told me anything that I wanted, it was 50-50 if I had to have to pay for half. So he wouldn't just give me things. I had to earn enough money my own way. My parents taught me a lot about how to really work hard, how to stay focused, how to complete things and follow through, mostly from the way that they did it, not just in the way that they were telling me to do it. And then the empathy piece was 100% Michael.
Really?
I met Michael, and yeah, the way that he thinks about other people, the way that he considers their perspective, the way that he manages his relationships it's like unlike anything I've ever seen in anybody. Like I think Sean, you and I are kind of similar, where we've maybe in the past burned a couple bridges with a couple relationships because of our intensity.
One bridge.
And and so Michael he doesn't have any like unresolved relationships where there's still tension in those relationships at all. He doesn't have any, no ex-girlfriends, he just doesn't have anything like that, because he is so great at being empathetic and understanding people and with compassion and communication. And I get a front row seat to it every day. He's taught me all about that.
Did you find that in the success funnel of your relationship, you almost required yourself to grow in that way in order to be the wife that you wanted to be able to be to the husband that you wanted to be married to?
In every single way. If you met me when Michael and I first met, I am just so different. I feel so bad for my ex-boyfriends. I'm so sorry if you're listening to this.
I did meet you exactly when you and Mike first started dating. That was Tahoe, 16 or 15?
Yeah. I was just very different back then. I was super different.
The irony is it was very easy for me to talk to you when you were in that phase of your life, because I was in the same phase of my life. And I was just like, go get it. Aggressive, forward. And I was like, I like this chick. She's relatable. So, I mean, now when you're working with clients, staff, whatever, and you identify that people are falling outside of what would be necessary for them to move forward towards their goal, the narrow end of the funnel. Mm-hmm. Do you find that it's your responsibility to acknowledge for them and to them that they're outside of what they need to be doing to move forward? Or do you more take it as maybe this person doesn't want to move forward from here? How do you make that decision?
My process in general, I first and foremost look for where I'm accountable. So where is it in this situation that I might be contributing to this person not moving forward towards their goals? Whether that's staff, whether that's clients, whether that's, I don't know, I'm having conflict with a regular person like a friend in my life. What is it that's my piece of this? Maybe it's the way that I'm coaching or the way that I'm showing up or strategies that I'm using, whatever it is. I do that first. And then I try and be transparent with people and be like, hey, I want to make sure that this is still what you want to achieve. Is it? Because I can see some things that's not helping us get there. And yeah, especially I don't want people to be just like going through the motions, thinking that they're heading towards a goal that they want. Like me, like I did that. I thought I wanted to be national champion in weightlifting. I really genuinely believed it, but I was not living my life in a way that would have gotten me to that goal. So it made no sense to maintain that. It was like I was at a choice point. I wasn't in the zone of optimal behavior. I needed to either decide to change my behavior or choose a different goal entirely. So if I see that could be potentially happening, I want to help people. And nobody wants to hold on to goals that they're not actually achieving. It's just not a good feeling.
Well, so how do you help some? I agree. And I don't know how to tell somebody. I don't know if you actually want this thing that you say you want without saying it just like that. And then when they say, why would you say that? Well, because you're not doing this, or this, all what you need to do and you acknowledge you need to do to get to there. I don't know, maybe I just don't have the skill that you have to do that.
Yeah, it is not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. The way that you just said it is a little direct and can potentially put someone on the defensive immediately. So there's a way to like soften that conversation.
How? Sean Cleary over here has the same problem on Overdrive. And he asked how also.
Sorry, there was a slight delay, so I missed what you just said.
Sean Cleary has this problem on Overdrive. It's not, these are the little things you can do. He'd be like, you didn't get in on time. You did have you need to do this if you still want to have a job. So how?
Not that bad.
It is that bad. How do you soften it to where you're at?
There's so many different ways and it really depends on who it is. But a great way to do it is, hey, I want to have a really challenging and uncomfortable conversation with you. And if you just say that immediately, and that is going to do two things. One, it's going to actually brace someone for what's about to come. And you can also ask them like, hey, do you have a second to have this conversation? And then they are opting into the conversation instead of just being assaulted with your conversation of being like, hey, these are all the things that you're not doing right. Just softening it at the beginning and preparing them. It's like getting punched in the stomach, but you're not ready for it. If you do that, you're immediately going to curl over. I'm trying to optimize for people not getting defensive, because if they get defensive, they can't actually hear what it is that you have to say. So if I say something like, hey, I want to have a conversation with you. Do you have a moment right now? Or I'd love to give you some feedback. Are you open to that? And giving people the opportunity to be like, no, now's not a good time, or no, can we do this later? so that they can opt in. They have a part of creating that conversation. They're not just, a victim to it, which will lead to defensiveness. And then also giving an opportunity for people to correct you if you might actually be wrong. Like, hey, this is what I'm noticing. I could be wrong, but I just want to tell you what I'm noticing, and let's have a conversation about this instead of you're screwing up, you suck. If you don't change, you're going to lose your job. Because the truth is you might actually be missing a lot. Maybe you don't see a lot of the things that they're doing, or maybe, you could give them an opportunity to talk about something that's going on in their life that you had no idea about. And then, or an issue that they're having with their role that's taking up so much time, so they can't do all of these things. There's so many scenarios that could possibly come up. And your perspective is not, it could be flawed. Like you could be missing something.
She said I could have a flaw?
It's possible.
No, I don't think she said that.
She didn't say that.
No way she could have said that.
Anything else you'd like to ask Adee?
No, this is great.
Can we
Anything?
talk about the dog?
The dog.
Yeah.
What dog?
Is that a dog or a pig?
Oh, Otis.
Oh, it's a dog. It's a dog.
Other side.
It's not, yeah.
Oh, it's on the other side?
Yeah.
It's moved a few times.
Yes.
He's my little sidekick. His name's Otis.
How's he enjoying the new
Looks
house?
like he's having a really hard time.
Big stretch.
He loves this place. The reason why you get a Labradoodle is so they sleep all day, and then when you want to play, they just play.
Is that what happens with Labradoodles?
Yes, they just if you want to sleep all day, they'll sleep all day. If you want to play, they'll play. He
That's
just
ideal.
will do anything.
I thought a Labradoodle was like a hypoallergenic.
It is, and they don't shed, so it's like extra good.
Adee, thank you very much for joining us on the live stream. Any moment that I can get to spend with you is a win. Anything you'd like to plug? Sean Cleary wants to know. Anything you want to plug?
My biggest plug is Working Against Gravity, workingagainstgravity.com. If you want to get a nutrition coach, become a nutrition coach, or start a nutrition coaching business, we have got you covered. Sean is awesome. So if you're listening to this, you're in the right place. I really appreciate being here. Hopefully we can do this in person soon.
I would very much look forward to that. Larry's awesome too. He's also of Israeli ilk. So you guys have that in common.
Oh, nice. Part
Maybe
of the
we shouldn't get together in
tribe.
person.
Why do Israelis not like each other when they're together in person?
No, they're right. Too much intensity for one room.
Got it. Well, yeah, in person can definitely happen soon. We'll talk.
Thanks.
All right. We're going to head into the gym. Thank you, Adee.
Larry, you want to go situate yourself over there? Take a quick drink break.
Is that right?
That's all right. Sean, you want to say something?
Does she sign off now? She wants to know.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Larry, you want to just stand in front of that camera? Yeah, there you go. Sean, do you want to get over there?
Coming.
We're going to bring in the star.
You sign with me?
Larry, you want to just give yourself a quick mic check?
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Beautiful. Let me come on over there. You guys want to just create some pillar?
What are you talking about? Who needs filler?
These sleeves do, to be frank.
Yours?
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of could use some.
I wonder
right.
what I'm going to put
You
inside.
can begin.
You need to eat more vegetables.
We'll go down that rabbit hole another time. Today we are going to talk about very, very quick ways and effective ways to use the Active Life movement screen for group classes to figure out how you can get people doing a better version of their exercise right now without having to deal with any of the aches and pains that are frustrating them. We're going to have absolute star athlete Dr. Sean Pastoch deadlifting. And let's just say that in between sets of his deadlift, it seems like Sean might be just experiencing some discomfort. Let's see what happens in the wild.
Should I deadlift this with immaculate technique?
Yeah, let's get 5 reps. Let's get 5 reps that look really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
And so whether this is in class or you just notice someone doing this in open gym, whatever it is, let's say he puts his barbell down and it looks like he might be experiencing some discomfort. He does the side-to-side bend. Sean, you having some low back pain after that?
Just tightness. I always get tightness.
Always after deadlifts?
Yep.
Real-
Anything from the floor.
Real quick, put your feet underneath your hips for me. Just stand. knees straight. Can I see you reach down as far as you can? What do you feel here? Stay here for a second. What do you feel?
Just tightness in my low back, and that's about as far as I go.
Anywhere else?
No.
Got it. You can stand up for me. All right, I have a really, really good idea for you. Interested in being able to deadlift without any low back pain?
That'd be great.
Got it. Here's what we're gonna do. Grab this, put this underneath there for me.
I shouldn't use the ones that we already took out for this?
Oh yeah, let's use those. That's a good idea. Let's grab one of these 45s and
Why don't...
pick the bar up for me.
Okay, we can do it the hard way too. Go for it.
Great.
Just with the part there.
I didn't want him to do another rep. There we go. Show me 5 reps. Tell me how this feels on your low back. I like that position.
It's way more comfortable.
Okay.
This is like night and day.
Let's just finish the set out. Tell me what you feel at the end. All right, talk to me. What do you feel in your low back here?
Nothing. I just feel my hamstrings and my butt.
Golden. So very, very quick way to make sure that someone can start getting the stimulus they want. If you notice that when you run this test, hit that test for me, and this person isn't touching the floor, we now start to understand they don't have a certain amount of length in their posterior chain that we would like them to be able to achieve for this. Not only that, they're not feeling it where they would like them to feel it. A point of performance for standing lumbo pelvic flexion test is that they can touch the floor, they feel a stretch in their glutes and or hamstrings. If someone both feels it in their low back just during this passive test and they're not touching the floor, it's showing you that there are 2 indications that they don't have what they need right now to be able to safely pull off the floor. And a very easy way to accommodate that is whatever length they're not achieving when they reach for the floor, just give them that length with a surplus off the floor. They're going to be able to hit their backside the way they would like to without experiencing any discomfort. Let's look at our next test. Let's grab that big, I don't know if you can handle that one. Let's use a lighter one. Let's say someone's swinging a kettlebell.
Oh, you want to use one that's already on the floor for this?
Yeah, let's do that.
Got it.
I really like your thinking there. Let's say someone's hitting American swings, and every time they go over, they're doing a pretty big bend in their elbows. Sean, rest for a second. Do you have any shoulder pain with this?
No.
Okay. Real quick, can I see you with your elbow straight? Bring your biceps to your ears. Okay, what do you feel here?
Just that's the end of my range of motion. Kind of want to shrug.
Can I give you a little more? Tell me what you feel.
Sure.
Okay, tell me if there's any discomfort. What do you got?
Discomfort.
Okay, perfect. I like the bend that you're keeping in your arms there. Keep it there.
Yeah. Fucking Casey keeps saying I'm cheating.
Why? Because you're not straightening your arms
Yes.
out all the way? You can tell Casey to talk to me about that.
How about you just go tell Casey to mind his own
The way you're doing this is absolutely perfect.
Thank you.
Great. So Casey should be minding his own business, and now you understand that cueing Sean to have his arms all the way punched down next to his ears is probably dangerous for him. If someone's shoulder abduction test is showing you that they cannot, you can stop whenever you want, but you probably have an exercise in a week, so keep those up. If someone's arms aren't getting all the way to their ears, and they have discomfort when they try, it's an indication that you should not be cueing them to punch their arms all the way straight overhead. They should be bending their elbows. Let's say that someone is hitting a strict press with a barbell. If they hit 5 reps, and at the end of their rep, they maybe indicate that they have some shoulder pain. Either they tell you, or it looks like they're rubbing it. How does this feel?
My neck feels tight when I press overhead.
Both sides or just the left side that you grabbed?
Usually just the left. Sometimes it goes into both though.
Okay. Can I run a quick screen to see what's going on with your shoulders? Maybe better understand why that's happening. Do me a favor, lie on your back for me. Okay, one arm to the ceiling. Keep your elbow straight. Let that fall comfortably overhead. Okay, what do you feel?
Nothing.
Nothing. Can I see the other side? Do the same thing. What do you got?
Nothing.
Can I see you do both? Okay, perfect. You see how your hands don't get to the floor?
Yep.
Full range of motion in your shoulder would mean that those fall to the floor.
Got
It makes sense to me that you feel that in your neck when you're pressing overhead, because when you press overhead, you're forcing your shoulders into a position that they don't have right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you think that's why I get pain with pull-ups too?
It very well could be, and we can continue to look at that. You want to see a way to press overhead without having to deal with any of this? All right, perfect. 2 big options that I want you to be able to choose from depending on the stimulus of the class. If it's fast and you're moving quickly like this, I want to give you a pair of dumbbells.
Okay.
Let's press the same ones. We can find half the weight of those. But for now, I just want to know how your shoulders feel at the end. Talk to me.
More comfortable because I don't have to get so close to my head with my shoulders.
Perfect. Let's rack those. I want you to try it with the weight that you should be. Let's grab the 25s for now. Just show me 5 reps. I want to know if you feel it in your neck. If you don't feel it in your neck, then that's your weight. Shoulders are going to get just as jacked, if not more so. Neck discomfort with that?
No.
Excellent. Rack it. Very, very easy way to make sure that someone doesn't have to be locked into a position that they won't have. Anything you want to add to that?
If they do feel discomfort with the 2 arms, you can try 1 arm at a time.
If they do feel it with discomfort with both sides at the same time, try it with 1. And the other option, depending on stimulus, and if dumbbells even are providing irritation to them, a landmine is a phenomenal setup for them. Quick reminder for the landmine setup, for those of you who haven't seen it. If you have a landmine attachment, use it. If you don't, putting it in the corner of a room. If that's not an option, you can put the end of the barbell inside the hole of a 45-pound plate. 2 stacked on top of each other for weight is even better. If someone is missing an egregious amount of motion, if they're lying on their back and that's as far back as it goes, the landmine is where they're going to be for this. You can load that up pretty heavy without them being irritated at all. Sean, can you set up a front squat for me?
Like get into a front squat?
Let's get into a front squat. Let's say someone is either receiving a barbell in a clean, or they're just doing strict front squats, or they're doing thrusters, and you notice or they complain about some knee pain, or maybe even a pinch in the front of their hip. 1 more of those?
It bothers me every time.
What'd you say? You said it bothers you?
Me every time.
Tell me more. Stop for a second. Where do you feel that?
Front of my left hip, like my hip, I think my hip flexion is just stiff.
You feel some stiffness here?
Yeah.
Can I run a screen on you real quick, see why that's happening?
Yeah.
Do me a favor, lie on your back.
So it's not my hip flexors?
Could be, we'll find out.
Okay.
All right, just relax me. Arms out to the side. I'm just gonna try to bring your thigh to your rib cage, see what you can do. Tell me what you feel here.
On that side, it feels fine.
Okay. All good here?
Yeah.
No issues?
Nope.
Okay, I like it. I'm gonna try the other side.
Starting to feel that pinch in the front of the
Right
hip
here?
again. Yeah.
Okay. Here
A
too?
little bit, but a little bit less. Yeah, I feel it up there.
Okay, perfect. Stand up for me for a second. Grab that barbell, put it in your front rack. Squat to the corner of this. Tell me what you feel.
Feels a little high, but otherwise.
But no pinch? Okay, perfect. Rack that for a second.
I think this squat's better.
Rack it, rack it. I'm gonna set you up again. I just wanna know. Okay, you didn't feel the pinch though, correct?
No, correct.
Squat to these, tell me what you feel.
Better.
No pinch?
No pinch,
that-
and it feels deep enough.
Perfect. No pinch and it feels deep enough. If you find that someone is experiencing a pinch there, measuring to find out exactly what available range of motion their hip has before you have them hit weight under load to a depth or with a speed that's going to irritate it even more is a really good idea for them. This way you can dial in the height specifically to what their hip has available, get them all the gains they want with that range of motion, and not have to put them into compromising situations. Anything you want to add? No. Good work, crew.
You keep talking.
Well, I'll just awkwardly walk over and stare at the camera until we get back to the desk.
You walk.
You say walkity walk?
Walkie walk.
It's cool.
Back on the desk. So,
Can't see the TV, but I guess that's okay.
We're not really missing anything on the TV
Yeah,
screen,
nothing
are we?
good there.
guys, during that awkward walk, just help me and move the TV.
We're not like.
So, do the AV guy's job. Is
Yeah.
that what I'm understanding? Okay.
Yeah, we have a thing at this company. Do your job, not somebody else's. All right. So remember, subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram and all the places at Active Life RX and Active Life Professional.
Yeah, also, anything that's coming up for you guys around this, I'd love to have an open dialogue around it. So any questions, comments you have, just throw them in.
Well, Robin Myers loves this form of content.
Does he?
Yeah, that's why he said it.
Robin's a stud.
He's a stud.
So, hot take section.
Hot take section. What do you got?
Uniforms in CrossFit gyms, yes or no?
He missed the first 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Was he here for the live stream? Did you see the live stream today, or?
You didn't actually say yes or no.
We 100%.
In my opinion, unequivocally, yes.
We said yes. It's a strong yes.
Any other hot topics you want to throw out there?
I was just giving you the opportunity to really summarize your thoughts in a minute. But
The summary of thought is you're a coach, dress like one. And you shouldn't be advertising somebody else's business. You don't need to wear a Rogue shirt to coach in the gym that you're at.
Can I challenge that for a second?
Sure.
You're a coach dressed like one, I think is misleading because until this point, that's meant a million different things.
You're a coach dressed like what you would like one to look like.
Great. And dressed like the kind of income you would like to earn as a coach.
That's fine. What else you got? Give me another hot take.
CrossFit Games are back. Regionals week 1, even though it's not regionals. Is this a good direction for CrossFit? Bad direction? They spent years.
Definitely not my zone of excellence right here.
That's your zone of excellence. So the question
Games
is,
gone. Now Games is back.
the question is, do I like the way that CrossFit rolled back out regionals, even though it wasn't regionals?
That would be the same one for the board that I need to get through.
No. Yes. It wasn't like it was. It just feels weird, if I'm being honest. It feels like I know some of the people who started the MAC, the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Challenge, which used to be the Mid-Atlantic Affiliate Challenge, which was a team competition of 2 men and 2 women. They had an RX and a scaled division, and it was a great regional, like physical location regional event. They brought communities together, they brought gyms together. This didn't look anything like it. Nothing at all. I don't think that's a bad thing in general. I just think we should call it something else. It's not the evolution of what that thing was. It's something else. It's CrossFit Regionals, which is, but I think this should be called again, if I'm being honest.
What if we just called it Robert?
Robert? I think Robert's the wrong name. Regionals is good though. Any follow-up questions to that one?
Are they fair competitions if all the
They're definitely not fair competitions.
Workouts.
They're not fair competitions because depending on which one you end up in, you have different qualifying criteria, and some people are competing
that aren't in line with the scales.
Well, so Australia
teaching edge moment for Larry.
Australia had one event this week, and Tennessee had a different event. They had, I don't even know if they have the same number of workouts, but they had different workouts. So the
And this is
person,
all the same competition.
it all filters into the same end competition.
Okay.
But what that means is the person who qualifies out of Australia may have a skill set that would not have qualified them out of Tennessee. And the person who qualified out of Tennessee may not have had a skill set that qualified them out of Australia, which means somebody who didn't qualify out of Australia maybe would have qualified out of Tennessee, and vice versa. So now at the end of the day, what skill set did we test for to ensure minimum standards going into the next level? Then there's a group of gyms who are going, or a group of people who are going to compete online, which means they didn't have to worry about traveling somewhere, staying in a hotel, not eating their normal food, not being with all their normal training partners. Those people get to just wake up in their house,
Go to the gym.
and do the workout. I think that there's a skill set to competing live that some people who will potentially progress through the online would not have been able to do
Right.
because they don't have the live competing component.
Well, it costs energy to buffer all those differences for yourself.
Yes. I don't know that I have a better way for them to have done it, but I believe that it could be done better.
What do you got?
I don't know.
That's it?
I got a good one.
Okay.
Do you think that Lamborghini should have an F1 racing team?
They don't, right?
No.
Do they ever?
I don't think they have.
No, they shouldn't have it when.
And when I say I don't think they have, I'm talking purely out of my ass.
So what
This
you're
is great internet content then.
what you're asking is, should Lamborghini say, you know what? Let's take $500 million and see if we can grow a bigger dick than anybody else with it. No, they shouldn't.
Whatever part they want to.
It's a dick. It's a dick.
All right.
It's a dick measuring contest. No, they shouldn't. They're doing just fine without it.
Would it make the races more interesting?
No. You know who should have one?
Honda Civic?
Tesla.
Ford.
That would be ridiculous.
It should be a Tesla, and it should be electric, and it should be competing.
It's a strong agree.
Because that would be interesting.
Robert Myers. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Because they can't, like, now you're actually running into the top end of competition in competition, how are you going to charge that puppy when everyone else is just showing up for a gas tank drop?
Plug it in. So
They can't charge. They can't.
No, they're gonna have-
gas
listen.
during an F1 race.
What?
they don't refuel.
Gas during an
They don't
F1
refuel.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Interesting.
Changed that in the 90s because they kept lighting people on fire.
Strange.
Dude, the Tesla car would be so good.
Would it?
Yeah.
And put it on self-driving. You don't even have to work.
That's it. Just it automatically picks the
It just
best path.
reads the screen in the perfect line every
He's
time.
drinking a latte.
I was talking about this with Clear the other day. It was like before Formula One, the show on Netflix came out. If I vaguely had an understanding of what Formula One was, I was like, I would never in a million years degrade
What's a
myself.
yeard?
Did I say years?
Yeah.
Never in a million years degrade myself to the point of considering entertaining anything like that. Watch 3 seasons of that show in 2 days. All of a sudden, I'm the biggest Formula One on the planet.
Oh, yeah, and we have strong opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm emotionally invested in these people's lives now and shit. I'm like, what? They only paid him what?
Yeah. Unbelievable. Give him a chance. Give him a chance.
What's the lowest that
They
a
need to
Formula One
feed
guy
his
got paid?
kids.
$1 million.
No, $500,000.
$500,000. Wow. I think this season.
Hold on, wait, we're playing a violin over a guy getting paid $500,000
guy needs to
to
feed
race
his
a car.
kids.
He can
He
feed
has
his car.
17
He,
It's a
races.
joke. It's a joke.
got it.
He has to do 21 races. Come on.
Were they complaining about this on the show that I missed?
No.
Is that-
What does he net? 320K?
I don't
Tough
know.
year.
He lives in Monaco. It's a tax haven.
I
Is
wonder.
Monaco a tax haven?
I wonder if and I wonder if his bank accounts are in Switzerland.
Where's Monaco?
Monaco is on the coast of France. It's a little tiny country that's just part of the coast of France. And they just drew a line.
It's a country?
Yeah.
We might need to get Robin in because he or she knows a lot about
It's
F1.
a he.
He knows a lot about F1.
All right, Robin, what do you got? You got a keyboard, right?
There's
He's got a keyboard.
There's going to be like a 30-second delay.
So that's what the keyboard's for.
To type?
No, to bang it over his head. Yeah, type.
I wanted to put keyboards over my head before.
Next week on F1 Talk,
Next week, we're going to have one talk from Active Life.
we also did a Joe Rogan plug before, too.
But that was a great episode, though.
Well, here's what's going to happen. Joe Rogan's going to hear
He
that.
doesn't need the help. Okay?
Joe Rogan's going to hear that. We're going to get an Active Life plug.
We should.
These guys,
studio.
literally tens of people watch the episode. Sweet of them giving me a plug.
Did you say tens of
Tens
people?
of people if we got lucky. And now Rogan is going to be blowing us up.
He should be. He interviews so many people who just share nonsense. He should have us on for some
Dude,
realism.
I think he would fucking love having us on.
I think you would too.
I do. I think we would rock his world.
Is it possible Joe Rogan's just a robot?
I think Tim Ferriss would actually enjoy us more than Joe Rogan.
Is it possible that we're all just holographic projections of an existence that doesn't actually occur?
No, that's
that
not
would
a
be
real
the
thing.
perfect blackout
It's
screen.
not a real thing. That simulation theory stuff,
that's what a hologram would say, because it wouldn't know.
that's not a reality.
Is what a hologram would say.
Yeah.
That's such an easy circular cop-out.
Yeah. Is what a hologram would say.
We really might need to get Robin on the Zoom.
Robin, come on, what are you waiting
Yeah,
for?
there's actually an electric car specific F1.
But that's not F1.
They're
Yeah,
not
it's-
competing against gas cars.
It's
like-
Robin. This isn't an F3 kind of table.
Right, we're not here for the minor leagues.
We don't even talk about F2.
Oh, there actually is somebody in minor league baseball who only has one eye. Yeah, great. Let's talk when he gets to the pros. The majors.
You got 3 more minutes to fill.
We don't have to fill 3 minutes just because we have them on the clock.
I would love to be drinking black cherry seltzer for 3 minutes.
Seltzer talk. Top 3 brands.
The only two I know is Schweppes and House.
There's no reason for anyone to drink seltzer.
Because they enjoy pleasure in their mouth.
Definitely gonna leave that one alone.
Just the millions of circuits and routes that are going through my head right now.
Yeah. Formula E.
Oh,
Electric. Bring up the video.
More like
Just us
I
reacting.
think he probably means Formula LOSER.
Right. All right.
All right, this is a great episode.
Yeah, good talk.
No one's
Fade,
on, but
fade to black.
yeah.
Fade to zero
Here?
watchers.
They're on. They're loving it.
All 5 of them.
The
You guys
nine-
rock.
9 of 8. Ooh, we lost one. Sorry.
I'm gonna watch a TEDx talk while you wait for the time to run out.
Like and subscribe. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe.